my son or my daughter or anything. I mean, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. But being so terrible, we should be able to control it. When it's time to get into this business, it's take it to the limit. You know, I started this, and I freighters, and after freighters, I wanted the boats, and after that, you know, who knows, spaceships. You know, that's my nature. I take everything to the limit.
Yeah,
and you know, it's not the best, or it's not the worst. It's not the best, but it is what it is.
Well, you talk about how all, you know, lasting 25 years and surviving and being across so many people, including so many who were dangerous, and having them like you and whatever. There's something about you that was beyond just your skill and your ability to do what you did that made people not only trust you, but keep you around and never be like, it's time for him to go. But like in your personal life, maybe this is a better way to go about it than thinking about just the most hardened drug dealers to ever live. But like, you know, when you met your wife, what did she love about you? Like, how did you win her over? What in your personality did that? Because I wonder if it's similar to those things that may have won over some of these guys you were doing business with over the years. Question.
Persistence. I bothered her until she said yes. I was persistent. I've always been persistent. I met her in Santa Marta, and I was with a friend, and I saw this girl walking into the beach, into the ocean. It was a shallow beach, and she was wearing a bikini, and she had blonde hair, and I saw her from the back, and I said, the day I have a Colombian girlfriend, I want her to be exactly like her. And then when she came out of the water, I went and I approached her, and I started talking to her. At first, she didn't like me. I was older than her. I was like 13, 15 years older than her. But then I just persistent because I really liked her.
Were you charming her?
Always. Charm goes a long way. And finally, I've been blessed. That's another thing. I've been blessed with having her as the mother of my kids.
And you're really close with her today, as we were saying.
Yes, very close.
That's pretty cool.
And she saved my life. If it wouldn't have been for her, maybe Razgun or somebody, a lot had to do with concern for her and respect for her.
What do you mean?
That they knew that she was a very nice lady, and they also, there's another reason why, for example, Razgun let me go. And it's because he knows I'm not violent. He knows that I wouldn't make $20 million tomorrow and use that $20 million to wage war. So that's another key thing, because no matter what, if you're a violent person, they don't let you go, because they know that you could turn that violence against them.
That's right.
As revenge. And they let me go, and I went into the guy's hotel.
But that's also some balls too. Like we can't lose that in the equation. You had like this almost like affable, aloof set of balls, and it was probably on purpose. So it probably wasn't, but it almost comes across like they're just like, this motherfucker. Like,
no,
what?
It's crazy.
What? He's out of his mind.
Out of his mind. Yeah. But that's a question that I don't know if it'll ever be answered, or I don't know if I'll ever have the answer about that morality, because, you know, and I hate to say, you know, compare it to like, you know, well, shit, cars kill people too. Alcohol kills people. No, that's not the right attitude.
Yeah.
The attitude is, it's wrong, okay? It's wrong to the extent that God bless, I would hate for my kid to do cocaine, or my son or my daughter or anything. I mean, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. But being so terrible, we should be able to control it.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just out there. It's out there, and we have nothing to say. So it's really bad.
Yeah, and to your point, and this has to be said, you know, there's legalized cartels too. You know, you mentioned it yourself. You look at what the Sacklers did. That's a legalized cartel, and they killed. And I don't even mind saying this. Like, Give me cocaine over what they did to people all day. I mean, my God, it's just like the worst. They got people on the worst type of drug that just, you know, I just lost someone to it again. You know, it's fucking crazy.
My cousin, my second cousin, the son of my first cousin, died as a result. He was not a drug addict. Just so happens one night they were out partying with a group of friends and they decided to buy a gram.
Yep.
Had fentanyl. He died.
Oh my God. Yeah. So when you were doing this, fentanyl wasn't a thing.
No.
That became a thing in like the last decade and a half or so, right?
Yeah.
How would you have dealt with that? Like if you were in the business today?
No. I wouldn't have done. There's certain, I never got involved in the heroin. Once we transported 5 kilos of heroin. It's called Fentanyl in that book, but never. My thing was coke, and well, I did it myself. I mean, I saw it not to justify it. That's part of what really screwed up my life. You know, the partying and the drinking and the snorting and shit like that. But the fentanyl, you know, right now, you know, that's just poison. I mean, I snorted all my life and never really. I mean, I'm not justifying it, but I'm just saying fentanyl.
Oh, it's a whole different ballgame.
Is a different ballgame.
And now you have like it's like an international underground war too. You have a lot of fentanyl being produced in China that finds its way into Mexico, that then finds its way somehow cut into the product, that then gets its way across the border, and then people are snorting it. And now it's also just sold straight as fentanyl too, and people are addicted to it and buy it.
And they have their thing of a narco or whatever.
Narcan, yeah.
And they know that they're going to go out that night, and they know that they're going to go and overdo it and just relive themselves. Now, you know, fentanyl is 100 times more powerful than heroin. They put it in there, so they have to put less heroin, and and it's cheaper.
It's cheaper, yeah.
But it's just gotten totally out of control. That's why I think it comes a point that you have to start controlling this because it's out there.
You ever see Tommy G's YouTube channel, The Documentarian?
No.
He's a friend of mine. He was just on the show, but he just put out I think it was like a 30-minute doc on fentanyl. Yeah. I was just, you know, I've watched this stuff before, but now also seeing someone I know go in and go to these places and investigate it and do it, it hit home a little more for me. I'd highly recommend that for people, but you know, it's just such a growing problem. And to your point, when you talk about legalization, it's a very messy proposition, of course, because it's like, you know, pulling off a Band-Aid very fast, way worse than a Band-Aid, very fast, like tape all over your skin. But you wonder if it might actually, if something like that would decrease the ability for people to abuse fentanyl or something. Like, would I rather see it? I don't want people abusing drugs at all, but are there other drugs I'd rather see them abuse than that? Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a question to ask.
It's all about our system, education. It's, you know, I mean, drugs, alcohol, you know, it's just a matter of getting people educated so that nobody desires. But that's a hard, I mean, it's impossible. Yeah. It's impossible.
It's very hard.
What can I tell you? And it's, to legalize this, forget it. It's politically, no politician wants to get involved in saying that kind of shit.
That's the problem.
It's just, and it's a very nasty world. And every day it's getting nastier. I mean, it was nasty when I was in it. It's just getting nastier, though. I do believe that this whole cocaine cartel, criminal enterprise, drug world is getting nastier by the day.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.